What is up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Super stoked you are here. I have a fun video for today, a video that I am very excited to film and to show you guys. We're actually going to take a trip down memory lane. So here's the deal. If you are new to this channel or you have no idea what Friends Fingerboards is, we are a brand new fingerboarding company with a bit of history. I've explained this in other videos as well. So we are, yes, a brand new fingerboard company. We don't even have a website yet. We're currently working on that as we speak. We are dropping our products in September, so very, very soon. We are a company that is owned by 4 different co-owners. And my role in the company, hi, my name is Jacob. My role deals with a lot of the manufacturing aspects of our products. And here's the deal. I have been involved with and in and out of fingerboard manufacturing, specifically decks, but also ramps and wheels and trucks as well for the past almost 15 years. I guess to date myself, let me grab this. Here is a very, very OG Flatface low pro deck. I mean, look at this thing. I actually just pulled this out of the archives the other day. I completely forgot that I had this set up back in the day. This thing is crazy. I think this is like 12 years old now, something like that. Super, super wild. Yeah, needless to say, I have been working with fingerboards and producing them and kind of perfecting the craft of making a fingerboard deck and also other fingerboard components for a very, very long time. So with that being said, we're gonna take a trip down memory lane of I guess specifically my deck making journey, because I have this massive bag of a bunch of different archived boards that I've made throughout my career as a fingerboard deck maker. I actually just pulled this out the other day. It was one of those things that was on the shelf, bunch of dust collected on it, and super rad. I saved a lot of these decks. A lot of really cool stuff in here. I guess I'll just show you guys a little sneak peek. We'll maybe go through this in entirety one day, but I have just a bunch of different stuff. I mean, here's just an example of a whole cascade of different decks I've made, all different shapes, all different sizes, all different everything. I mean, this pile that I grabbed right here is really old. I mean, look at this. I mean, we've really come a long way, which is fun to see. If you guys want to see a full exhibit of all these archived decks I've saved, let me know in the comments and I can make a full, like, you know, breakdown video of everything that's in here, because there's some really cool stuff. But there is one board in particular that I pulled out of here that I really reminisced on, and it was this board right here. This board brings back so many memories for me as a deck maker. So I think I'm going to kind of show you guys this board a little bit, give you guys a little in-depth description of why I think it's cool and whatnot, and why I was happy to pull this out of the archives. And then I think we're actually going to restore this fingerboard to turn it into a modern fingerboard that you would enjoy using. Gosh, it's just like fingerboarding has changed so much, and my skills as a craftsman have changed so much. I think I can do this board justice, and I think it'll be a fun project to document on video as well. So I'm gonna get the tripod set up to give you guys a bird's eye view, and I'm gonna explain this board to you, and let's get to restoring it. I think this is gonna be a fun project. Let's get it. All right, so here is the board I am talking about. Check this thing out. So this board, if I had to date it, I think I made this about 10 years ago, which is a decade now. So crazy. And I remember the inspiration for this board. So this bottom ply, as you can see, it has really cool kind of yellows and reds and orange tones. I thought it looked like a sunset. When it came out of the die, I just was like super fascinated with how it looked. So I decided to wood burn actually a couple birds in there, and kind of this, like, I don't know if I was thinking it was going to be like a mountain type range or maybe like an ocean type view here, but I wanted to use the dyed bottom ply to depict a sunset. And I actually think it turned out pretty good. I mean, this was very, very early on in my deck making journey. Actually, cool note about this deck. So this is actually, see if I can get that focused in there. This is actually a 7-ply deck. This is early on when I was experimenting with 7-ply decks, and this was back in the days when 7-ply decks were really, really unheard of. But I was really on a journey to mimic skateboarding as best I could, and I wanted to make a 7-ply fingerboard deck. My old 7-ply decks actually turned out super, super good. I guess here's a modern version of, I guess this is a friend's fingerboard deck. This is a modern version of what we make now. We use 5 plies in our decks currently. It's just kind of the industry standard as of right now. But if you guys want to see 7-ply decks, this is something we can definitely do. They have their own unique characteristics as a deck, which makes them kind of fun. And you can get really, really crazy with the ply combos. But this is a super, super old deck that I made. Got a nice kind of exotic top ply. So when I made this deck, fingerboarding was totally different. The standard fingerboard sizes were way different. See, this is probably a 102, 103 millimeter long deck. Most modern fingerboards are way shorter, you know, 97, 98, you know. A lot of fingerboards don't even breach that 100 millimeter mark in length, and I think this was probably a 30-ish millimeter wide deck, 31 maybe. I don't know if I have the exact measurements, but it's definitely skinnier and longer than a modern fingerboard. So I guess the plan for today is to shorten it up a little bit, round the edges off. I actually did a fair job, especially for back in the day. This was early on at getting pretty good kicktails on this deck and pretty good craftsmanship. But I'm going to try to modernize this board a little bit. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. I'm going to redo some of the edge rounding. I'm going to clean up this top ply a little bit, give it a nice recoat of lacquer. I might adjust the countersinks a little bit. They're not too bad, but they could definitely use some adjustment, maybe clean up the holes a little bit. And I think this will be a super cool board once it's done. Wow, we've really come a long ways. I mean, this was, as you can see, this is a wood burn deck, which is really cool. And it's something that I would like to bring back into fingerboard manufacturing, because I had a lot of fun back in the day wood burning decks. But, you know, this was before we had the abilities to do real wear graphics on fingerboards like this new Friends deck, or I guess this new used Friends deck, because I've seshed this quite a bit. You know, this is back before we could do real wear graphics. Actually, I showed you guys this earlier. This Flatface low pro deck. See, this is like a paper graphic, and it's a super old deck, so it obviously has some wear to it. But this deck took a decade of fingerboarding to get any sort of wear on it, as opposed to modern real wear fingerboard graphics. It's just, times are way different. I mean, look at that shape. That's crazy. Look how mellow that is. Super, super cool deck. But it's just, it's cool to see where we've gone as a community and as manufacturers. So I'm super excited to bring this board back to life. I think if it turns out good, if this is something you would like to get your hands on, I think I might give away this deck. So if that's something that piques your interest, just throw a like on this video, make sure you're subscribed, and throw a comment on this video. And next week I'll pick somebody who has done all those, and I'll ship this out to you. It's a super cool deck still. I mean, the shape is pretty gnarly still. It's a really good shape. I specifically remember the mold I used to make this. I was super thrilled with how it turned out. So if this is something that piques your interest, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get this out to one of you guys. Alrighty, so first things first, on this deck, I'm actually going to shore up the nose and the tail. I'm going to get it back to, I got one of our templates. This is a 98 millimeter template. I'm going to get that the board back to a more modern size. I think that's really going to help the performance and just give it that modern aesthetic and feel. And my plan is to do everything on this board pretty much by hand. I'm going to use a few power tools, but it'll be a lot of hand work, because I really want to do a good job on this board and just bring it back to what it deserves to be, a good usable fingerboard in the modern era of fingerboarding. Perfect. So as you can see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's gonna bring it down about a 1.5 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters on this end, maybe 1.5 millimeters. It'll bring it down to a 98 millimeter size, which will be perfect for the length of this board. So I'm actually gonna reshape this deck using the palm sander. I got a pretty good grit sandpaper on here, so it shouldn't take too long, but I really wanna dial in this nose and the tail on this deck, and I have a lot of control with the palm sander, so let's get after it. All right, so there we go. We got the nose and the tail right where we want it. I went just up to the line that I made with the template just to leave a little room for hand sanding because I'm really gonna dial this thing in now. I had to adjust the sides a little bit just to work with, because the template isn't perfect for this shape of deck, so I just had to tweak it a little bit, but it's turning out really good. It already feels like a board that'll feel really nice once it's set up. So now I'm actually gonna break out some loose sandpaper, do some hand sanding, get everything nice and refined, and I'm gonna scuff up the bottom and top a little bit because we're gonna add some new lacquer as well. Let's get this guy hand sanded and then we'll finish it up with some new lacquer. Look at that, those plies are really coming back to life. That is awesome. All right, so there we go. It's nicely hand sanded. It's really looking good. Like I said, it feels like a modern fingerboard shape. I really think this deck will perform super well now. It's all prepped. It's ready for some new clear coat. So we'll bring this bottom and this top back to life. It's gonna look super good. So let's get some clear coat on this and check out the finished product. All right, so here we go. Look at how nice this deck turned out. Look at that. I mean, this is something that I would love to set up and just sesh again. I love it. The top ply turned out amazing. Look how nice that top ply turned out. Gorgeous. So check out the plies and the shape on this. I didn't even really notice, but look at that. Got some nice black plies that contrast the yellow and the orange plies. It's just like it's a cool contrast of sunset colors with a couple tones of black. Looks super nice. Like I said, this is a 7-ply deck. Super nice shape on it as well. So there you go. This is the restored vintage fingerboard from my archives. Super happy with how this thing turned out. And if you want this deck, feel free to follow our channel, subscribe, leave a like, throw a comment down there, any feedback, just words of support, whatever you want, just leave a comment below. And on next week's video, next Sunday, I will pick somebody who did all 3 of those, and I'll send you guys this deck. This is a perfectly rideable fingerboard deck in the modern era. I'll send a sheet of our homie tape as well, and you can have a brand new, I guess a brand new used vintage fingerboard deck that has been professionally restored. So there you go. That is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it would be fun to go through the archives, do a little restoration work, and it's just kind of a cool concept, I thought. Big things happening with Friends. Our website is dropping in September. Stay tuned to our all of our social medias to stay up to date with that. Our Instagram at Friends Fingerboards, right here on YouTube, and then also our TikTok at Friends Fingerboards. We are constantly posting content, updates, clips, stuff like that on there. So stay tuned for our up and coming drop, which will happen in September. We're working hard on it right now. All right, and until next time, friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be good to one another, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.